here are some more notes to help reinforce working on atomic structure grids. So in the notes, you remember that we talked about APE, atomic, protons, and electrons are all equal for neutral atoms. Neutral atoms will have the same number of atomic number as electrons or the same number of protons as electrons. A, P, E. If you know one, you know all three if the atom is neutral. So if in this case we have electrons and atomic number the same, we know our protons are 74, and we know this atom's neutral. How do I know? Because my atomic number and my electrons were the same, or my protons and my electrons were the same as it was given. So I'm going to figure out who this is by looking up atomic number 74. So I'm going to go to a periodic table. I've shared this periodic table with you in your Schoology, both on the agenda and in this folder where you found this worksheet. So I'm going to look for the atomic number. That's the top number, right? And I find atomic number 74 right here, tungsten. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to type tungsten. And I know the mass number can be gotten by adding protons plus the neutrons. You have to be given the mass number, or you have to calculate the mass number by adding protons plus neutrons. So I'm going to take 184 plus 74, and I get 258. Okay, and then I'm going to do my symbol, my nuclear symbol. I have W for the symbol. How do I know? I look on the periodic table. I don't have a charge because it's neutral. How did I know it was neutral again? Because my electrons were the same as my atomic number. So it can't have a charge if they're the same. Now, I'm going to put my mass number and atomic number in. So my mass number is going to be a superscript. So I'm going to hold down the control and hit the period button. It's going to go up and 258. And then I'm going to hit space and then hold down the control button and hit comma. That's going to be a subscript. That's going to be, oops, let's try that again. That's going to be a 74. Okay, so to turn off superscript or subscript, you just hit the same keystroke. So to turn off superscript, you hold down control and hit period. And to turn off subscripts, you hit control down, hold down the control button and hit comma. Okay, next example. This has everything for you already here, so you should be able to fill out all these pieces. Let's go through that. I know that this is nitrogen. I know it has an atomic number of 7, so its protons are 7. Those are always the same. I know its mass number is 15 because remember this top number is the mass number. To get the neutrons, I'm going to turn this into a subtraction problem. So 15 minus 7 is 8. Now if you don't have this, you can still know to get the neutrons by taking mass minus protons. So 15 minus 8 is, let me try that again. 15 minus 7 is 8. And now the electrons. Electrons are tricky because you have to know if it's charged or not. Electrons is a 3 minus, so that means there's 3 more electrons than there are protons. That's how it becomes negative. So there are going to be 10 electrons here. Okay, so remember that electrons, to get electrons, you're going to have to look at the charge and know that you have 3 more negatives because you have a negative 3. Okay. Let's go through some more examples. So next we have an atomic number of 20. So we automatically know that this is 20 because remember atomic and protons are always the same. Electrons are 18, so that must mean that there's a charge, there's an ion. There's a plus or minus because protons do not equal electrons. Okay, what do I have more of? I have more protons, so that tells me it's going to be positive because remember protons are positively charged. Okay, let's get the neutrons first though. To get neutrons, I don't have the symbol, so I got to do some subtracting. I got to take mass minus protons. That's how you get neutrons. That's what you're doing here. You're taking mass minus atomic number, which is the same thing as taking mass minus protons. So 14 minus 20 is 22. So I have 22 neutrons. I look up who element 20 is. It is calcium. You look on the periodic table. I can do my symbol as Ca. I know that I'm going to do a superscript, so control period gives me my 42, space control comma gives me my 20. And then I need to do a superscript for the charge because I do not have the same protons and electrons. I have 2 more protons than I do electrons, so it's positively charged by a 2. So I'm going to do superscript, that was subscript, superscript 2 plus. Okay, let's talk about these 2 examples. So this was 3 minus because it told us it. That's how I knew there was more electrons than protons. Because if there's more electrons, it's more negative. If there's more protons, it's more positive. Okay, so on this example, though, we didn't have the symbol. We had the fact that we knew we had 18 electrons and 20 atomic number. Well, if I know the atomic, I know my protons. Now I know my protons and electrons, and I can figure out if it has a charge or not. Remember, this one didn't because they were the same. This one did. It was -3 because there's 3 more electrons and they're negative. And this one has a positive 2 because there's 2 more protons than electrons. Okay, next one, bismuth. Bismuth is element, I got to find it on the periodic table. I find that it's element 83. Oop. So I also know that then it's 83 protons. Figure out the neutrons. I'm going to take 210 minus 83, and I get 127. Okay, and then I know the symbol is Bi because I looked on the periodic table. I know that the mass number is 210, space, and I know the atomic number is 83. Now I got to decide if it has a charge or not. So I'm going to go back and look and say, well, it has 83 for its atomic number, and it had 83 electrons given, so there's no charge. All right, next example, here we have platinum. Okay, so I know that it's platinum by looking up. I know its atomic number is 78. I know that it has a mass number 197. Remember, Miss America, mass number, atomic number. I know the protons are 78 because the atomic number and protons always are the same, no matter what, always. I can figure out the neutrons by taking 197 minus 78, 119. And then I can also get my electrons by looking to see, does it have, in this case, I don't have a charge here, so therefore the electrons must be the same as my protons. Hope that helps. Reach out if you need some help.